The oldest and strongest emotion of mankind is fear. And the oldest and strongest kind of fear is fear of the unknown.
I'm scared of horses more than I am the unknown.
Why horses?
Their faces are like really long and they're very muscular. And one time I saw a picture of what a horse would look like if its jaw went all the way back, sort of like a dog, and it scarred from me for life.
I really wish I had never heard of that. Hi, and welcome back to the Two Idiots Talk About podcast. I'm Jacob, and today I have Trent with me for just like every other time.
I'm
I
about to say
can't,
I'm here every time.
I can't get rid of him.
I am like a disease.
But today, if you've been paying attention at all, but you our one viewer from Denmark, Gary.
He's a good man.
Yep, he watches our videos religiously.
He makes really good waffles.
Yeah, we're talking about horror movies, and I guess more
Specific-
specifically, how to survive horror
Specifically,
movies.
how we would survive certain horror movies. And, a little fun fact here and there.
I'm mostly going to be providing the facts.
Well, that's because you don't listen to me when we were prepping for this.
So I have a couple of movies. I did actually prep a couple of movies for you that I would like you to survive, but I thought I would throw it off to you for the first one.
All right, I'll start us out. I'm going to start us out with my all-time favorite horror movie. Absolutely love the original Halloween. Hitchcock, you're in Haddonfield, Illinois. None of that bullcrap where you're not like in a different state and stuff. It's Halloween night. Michael Myers has escaped the asylum. You're a babysitter. Possibly a hot, voluptuous blonde.
I mean, I already am that.
Eh. 6 out of 10.
Dare you? How dare you?
And Michael Myers is on the loose. You see that pale mask. What do?
Can I access a car?
I don't know. Do you know how to drive right now?
Yeah.
They let you have keys.
Yeah. I don't know how.
Huh? I really need to.
I keep
talk
tricking
to,
him.
I really need to talk to your governor.
He won't listen. Yeah, I'm just gonna get in a car and drive away. He's just a dude.
Yeah, but you know very well that car's not going to start, right?
My car always starts.
Well, this ain't your car.
Look, okay, then I'm gonna shoot him, and he'll die.
They've tried shooting him. I mean,
Yeah.
shooting him would probably work.
Yeah, it probably worked. I mean,
The man did take 6 bullets to the chest and fall off a roof. I mean, he's
so
durable.
I mean, this is the question. Like, are we positing that is Michael Myers just a
I
crazed?
guess we should establish which timeline of Michael Myers
Yeah,
we're
is this
discussing.
the paranormally powerful one where he's basically this like immortal spirit of vengeance kind of weird thing where he's just this crazed, like unkillable killer, or is this just the man who's just abnormally adverse to bullets?
I like it. We're gonna go on the lore of the first one, and I like that lore. He's just a man who's like the embodiment of evil, but he can be killed. He can be hurt. He's not like you shoot him and he gets right back up.
So
It takes a minute. He has to walk it off after he falls off a roof with 5 bullets in his chest.
So I'm gonna say this: we never really see him run.
Well, that's because when the camera goes away, he starts sprinting.
Sprinting, yeah.
Why do you think he's like breathing so heavily constantly?
Um,
When you're hearing that, that's because like the camera just came off of him and he just was in a full blown.
I may not be able to run for very far, but I can definitely outrun him if he is walking. So if we're going by the rules of the movie and how he acts, I'm gonna beeline to a car, I'm gonna gain some distance first, so I have some time to test the car, and I'm like, if that doesn't work, well, shit, I'm just gonna start screaming, "Hey everybody! There's a fucking murderer chasing me!" Because not many people seem to do that whenever they live in a pretty packed neighborhood.
This is a kids channel.
Little babies listen to this. But
I have that I know many 2-year-olds who go to bed at night listening to us.
I could think of, like, if all else fails, like the car doesn't start, like I don't have a gun, like I even have a single weapon, and nobody's gonna like listen. And for some reason, everyone in the neighborhood is at home. No one can call the cops. I don't personally have a phone on me. If all that is true, we resort to the final tactic that I learned from King of the Hill in the self-defense class episode. You just scream at him, "That's my purse! I don't know you!" And you kick him in the nuts. What's
I
he
really
gonna...
thought that was going toward pocket sand.
Pocket sand is the backup tactic.
Oh,
If all else fails, pocket sand.
Full of sand, kids.
If the I don't know you,
share
like, that's
news.
not your purse, I don't know you doesn't work, pocket sand.
Pocket sand.
He
So
does.
we're gonna-
He is the natural. He does have a natural defense to pocket sand, though, in the form of the mask.
Yeah, that is true, but the mask has eye holes.
I don't know. I mean,
My simple tactic would just not be related.
he did take a shotgun to the chest, and that's just like hyper aggressive pocket sand.
Not in the first one, though. We're talking Michael Myers canonically in the best one, which is the first one.
I think
He took a sewing needle to the neck.
I mean, depending, like, the surviving that one, it's like, could you, like, it depends on, like, what resources you have. He's a very...
You have the resources of a hot teen blonde female in a house babysitting, because that seems to be the ones he attacks.
Okay, then statistically, I'm probably going to have some kind of self-defense tool. By the way, even this is for men and women. Having some form of self-defense tool on you at most times, and if you're going out and about, is hyper important.
Were we sponsored by like Bear Mace or something?
Sure, fuck it. I'm gonna mace him, as you said, got eye holes, and I don't know if you've ever been maced before.
This is
It's
a
not
perfect
fun.
opportunity. Perfect opportunity to talk about our sponsor, Bear Mace.
Bear mace.
If you can't fight a bear, mace it.
Mace it. Use the whole can. But no, I feel like that's a pretty easy one to survive. Like, because really, your biggest thing is that you need a way to, like, slow him down enough to where you can get out and get away. The problem with this is that he's canonically very, like, good at hiding and being sneaky and, like, getting into you. So if I know I'm in this prior to this, that I know that there's going to be a killer, I have time to prep.
You do not have any prep time. You're in the same situation someone in this movie was in.
Do I know there's a killer before he's there?
Yes.
Then if I do...
You saw a masked man on your doorstep on Halloween, and it's all over the news that Michael Myers has escaped. You can put two and two together.
If I don't see him in the front yard, beelining it...
Of course, if you don't put two and two together, you're going to kill a trick-or-treater, and you probably will go to jail.
I mean, my plan isn't to kill Michael Myers. That can be... like, in this situation, it is about survival.
I just want to give him a big old hug.
And he'd probably die.
Probably would die.
I don't know, maybe I just, like, talk to him. Let him know it's gonna be okay.
I don't think he's ever said a word in any of the movies.
No, I could have sworn in one of the later ones he did. But it was like,
The
no!
crappy remake that Rob Zombie made. He like screams no because he's some hillbilly dude. He's not. I don't even count that. There's two canonical series of Michael Myers, in my opinion. There's the one where he's obsessed with killing his family and he's supernaturally powerful, and there's the new one where he's like the embodiment of evil, but he's technically a man.
I always liked the idea that Michael Myers, as a monster, isn't the man underneath the mask. It is...
Well, the mask makes him 10 times scarier. It's like you said in the intro, the unknown is what we're scared of. If he was just a man walking around with a knife, he wouldn't be half as scary. It's the blank, emotionless mask that really sells it.
Which, I'm going to toss in a fun fact, that is a William Shatner mask from Star Trek, if I remember correctly, that has been...
painted it white.
Yeah, it's been, like, painted and, like, even kind of, like... I think they did some things with the molding.
Yeah, the actual backstory of it is the set designer literally went into a drugstore Halloween costume section, they told him to get a mask, he got that mask, and then painted it white.
And it ended up being one of the most iconic items ever.
Oh yeah, I mean that mask is like an icon of horror movies. So your way you would do it is just run away, pretty much.
So if I have time to know, like I would, it's to my general game plan is to one make myself as uneasy of a target as possible. So like I will grab kitchen knives and like it's the beeline bolt away from the house. And then it's like because the safest place for you is not going to be hiding in somewhere because he's going to find you. Um, uh, it's to get yourself in the most packed public place possible, like to just find people. My goal, the moment I can find a public place, the moment I know he's lost. His strength and ability, like, is that he is really good. Like, he is again in this setting just a man, maybe a normally strong man, but he is a man. A mob of people beating him is not gonna end well for him.
I mean, you haven't seen the new one, have you?
I have not. No.
Yeah, a mob of 20 people literally beat him to the ground. He gets up and murders every single one of them. In a mob, like he don't like stalk them separately. They beat him to the ground, think they have him dead, go for the kill shot. He springs up and just absolutely massacres all 20 of them.
See, that's just unlikely though. But
If you would have watched
again, we are talking about.
If you would have watched it though, that man had some cool moves. He had some cool moves.
He pulled a John Wick.
I'm pretty sure he takes Pilates. He's really agile for an old man.
Oh yeah, he's like in his like what, like 70s or something in the new movie.
Yeah,
right?
he's in his 70s in the new movies. He just goes absolute ham. I mean, I know how I'd beat him.
How?
I'd be Buster Rhymes and no kung fu.
Okay, but we've set up that 20 people could not beat him.
No, but Buster Rhymes did.
Shit, you're right.
Halloween Resurrection, Buster Rhymes had him in that garage. Knew kung fu for some reason. They didn't explain it in the movie. Roundhouse kicked him in the face and put up jumper cables to his balls, and that was it. Michael Myers was defeated that movie. Be Buster Rhymes.
I guess just be again, right? Just be Buster Rhymes.
I mean,
if you're not Buster Rhymes, become Buster Rhymes.
That would honestly probably fix most of my problems in my life. Just be Buster. If you can't fix a problem by being Buster Rhymes, you can't fix that problem.
It's not a good problem.
Yeah.
So here's mine, and this one's probably going to be a little bit trickier. You are in the another John Carpenter movie, my personal favorite horror movie, The Thing. Okay. You are one of the researchers. You know you are not the creature from outer space.
I know that for a fact.
And that's all you know. The only difference about this and that movie is that one, you know that the dog. I'll say that this is before the Norwegians have gotten to the like this is before the Norwegians are chasing the dog to try and kill it to stop it from spreading.
So this is in the sequel then.
No. You are at the base, the original base. It's you have a little bit of time before it gets there. Do I know
this thing's coming?
Yes.
Okay, this is very simple. First of all, I think this is one of the few horror movies they did the smart thing. The blood wire test was just a genius move. Mm-hmm. They just didn't account for this thing to be inhumanly strong. Where they go to hurt the blood and it reacts. Yeah. As soon as I watch someone's stomach grow teeth and bite off an arm, I'm blowing the base to Kingdom Come.
And you're killing everyone else.
Yes. If stomachs have teeth, I'm killing everyone on that base.
I think this is the hardest one. For me, is because one, you have to account for even the people who aren't transformed have kind of gone crazy, and if you try and kill them,
they honestly probably could have survived if all the people hadn't went crazy. Too, like being like paranoid.
Because I mean,
If that makes sense.
really the monster like in that movie. I mean, obviously there was a real monster, but the monster that really destroyed them and was their downfall was paranoia. Because they know even at the very end of the movie they do not trust each other. They are going to die together, and I don't like.
Well, okay, so if you want one other than just blow it sky high once I watch someone grow teeth out of their stomach, I mean, don't split up. Splitting up is the stupidest thing you could do in that situation because
Absolutely.
you don't know who's been picked off.
One of the dumbest decisions they made was secluding. Oh, what's his name? I'm such a horrible fan of this movie. I've seen it so many times and I can't remember his name. Wilford Brimley. He just keeping him alone, like, and secluding him in that little area was probably one of the dumbest decisions they made.
Oh yeah, completely agree. Secondly, if I knew the thing was coming and I knew I couldn't trust everybody, I would feel. I'm assuming the thing does not have like knowledge of human food and drinks. I would
So
feel
it did,
like
so depending if you know, actually, there's a lot of argument there. One, if you take into account the prequel movie, technically it could, because it has the knowledge of the people it's eaten.
yeah, but would it be able to tell the difference? Like, does it have the taste buds?
We don't know.
So I would cut my losses and I would fill up like the drinks with gasoline and would be highly suspicious of the person that's drinking the gasoline like it's vodka.
So I see where you're coming from, and I understand what you're referencing. The thing about that is, get it? The thing is that we don't. That's not a certainty because if it does, it would know. I feel like it would know. I think we could run under the assumption that it would know. It's just the problem is that we never really had a situation where one proved the other. Like there's no proof one way or the other.
No, but I mean, if I'm preparing for an alien thing, I'm going to have to.
I mean, probably the safest bet is to burn the dog and just be seen as a psychopath. Well, actually, it would probably transform, and they'd be like, "How'd you know?" Or to stop the guy.
How'd you know?
Or maybe stop the guy that busted out the window and started taking shots with a revolver at the helicopter.
That would have been a good.
That'd probably been a good idea.
choice.
Because even if they can't speak your language, that like having like then again one of them could have been infected too. It's just impossible to know. And I think that's one of the facts.
I mean, if I'm sitting there at a choice and I'm thinking like multiple people could be infected, if not everyone but me, and if this thing escapes, it's going to cause untold damage. Yeah, just blow the place up.
probably just take the. I mean, you just take the route that the main character took, and just literally. I mean, that's literally what he did in the end.
Yeah, take the L and realize, hey, this is the only way to beat the thing. Sometimes you got to cut your losses and explode.
I think that's a pretty decent I mean, like that's one of the harder ones because like there's not really a lot of great solutions where you may get out alive.
I'm okay with exploding.
If it saves the entire human race from whatever the heck that thing was,
Look, as soon I know this. I was describing it as like a last resort, but as soon as I watch a belly grow a teeth and bite off a man's hand, I'm blowing everything to heaven.
because like it ain't getting much. Look, it ain't getting much better after that.
They're literally going to be like, Trent, what are you doing with all that gasoline? Nope. What are you doing? We can figure this out. Nope. Bye, guys. And they
Look,
just light a
I've
match
seen rock bottom. There's no coming back from that.
I've seen rock bottom and I don't like it. The only way we're getting back is through explosives and gasoline.
So I guess that makes it your turn. I've got a couple of movies prepped. I want to see how many you have.
Okay. I have another one.
Alrighty.
You are having nightmares.
Oh God.
And
This one. This
you
one.
hear a familiar 1, 2, Freddy's after you.
I have an easy
3,
solution to this
4,
one.
bed.
Just continue what I'm doing and not sleep.
Yeah, eventually you gotta sleep. Eventually you'll have micro sleeps, and in the movie they canonically say he can kill you during micro sleeps too.
So
Because that's how he
did
puts
they?
his claw out of that.
I'm not.
That's
I've
how he
only
puts
watched.
that claw out of that woman's vagina in the bathtub, ain't it?
Yeah.
Like she fell asleep in the bathtub, and then his claw come out of her vagina.
Yeah, probably.
Horrible gynecologist.
Yes, probably should vary. I
Really should
think
sanitize those claws.
it's a boy. I just remembered that line. God, those movies got really dumb. So I've only seen the first one and bits and pieces of the sequels, and also bits and pieces of the remake.
I mean, the first one is kind of the only one you need to know sort of what you're dealing with.
So here's one that I really don't know how it would work, but it's kind of also the similar situation. So I could probably go a solid 3-4 days without sleeping max before I am unable to keep myself conscious anymore.
Okay. Well, then you have a problem.
Well, I'm kind of setting up so I have 3 to 4 days to come to enact a solution, or make one. So the one that I don't personally know, because I don't think there's any precedence for it, is that you can get pretty far in 3 to 4 days by car.
I don't think you're escaping him.
Well, we've only ever seen him act on Elm Street.
Not true. Not true. In the other movies, he goes outside of Elm Street. As long as if you ever go into the town, and then even if you leave, he'll follow you in your dreams. And under this scenario, you've spent at least one night in that town, so he knows you're there.
Are we going by the rules where you if the Dream Warriors thing, where you can
poop in your dreams, you poop in real life.
But the Dream Warriors, I mean, you could argue how effectively they're able to do it. We're actually able to control their dreams and even hurt Freddy.
I mean, that's ultimately. I mean, they're bringing him into the real world, so they stop him in the first movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I have prior knowledge, I can kind of effectively do that.
But you have to understand. I think the Dream Warriors one, they were some type of prophecy.
Yeah.
Freddy is usually a god in the dream world.
Which is the hardest part, and it's it can't hurt you while you're awake, which is a big benefit. But the fact that
there is another thing you have to realize he can't hurt you about.
Mm-hmm.
He can't hurt you if you're not scared of him.
The thing is, I don't really know. The thing is,
but
that's a cop out. You don't know.
The downside is you don't have to be scared of him. You could be scared of anything he puts in your dream. But if you could somehow overcome all fears, you could beat him.
I know. Well, I mean, it's a real shitty one.
Just a buttload of Xanax and weed be the answer.
Well, does that carry over into your dreams? So
I don't know.
This is a bad solution, but it would work. I have one.
Okay.
The problems are, one, you have to be unconscious for it to work.
Okay, I like where you're going.
For a little bit. Two,
you're gonna die during that time.
No, it's a chance. Two, actually, I just thought of something. As long as you don't enter REM sleep, dreaming sleep, he can't kill you. Do you dream whenever you're under anesthesia? Do you enter REM?
But you also do not get the full benefits of sleep.
But that's not what I'm saying. So, Here's my solution.
Well,
It's not.
there is a scene in one of the movies where someone goes under for surgery and he is able to attack them there.
But I'm gonna go. Okay, but I think they're assuming that like they're.
He's even showed abilities to like. He's not as powerful, but he can kind of affect it when you're daydreaming. Like when you're zoned out, he can kind of like mess with you just a little bit. He can't.
So
really
are we saying
hurt
that
you.
he can affect you even out of like even like as long as you are asleep, you've not even entered REM sleep, he can affect you.
I think so because micro sleeping is sort of not REM sleep, and he's been shown to be able to kill people in that
So
state.
if for a while, maybe I do pop a couple of Xannies. I don't really. I mean, if that's what it takes to survive, I mean, I normally under any normal circumstances.
Is this just one though that you have to kind of?
No, but I have a permanent solution to this.
Okay.
It has been scientifically proven. So all I have to be is not afraid of him.
You have to not be afraid of anything he can do to you in the journey.
Correct. I have a lobotomy that removes the part of my brain that experiences fear.
That's a solution.
It's not a great one.
How are you gonna survive the surgery before they take it out?
Pop a couple Xannies, kind of chill out.
I don't feel like Xanax and anesthesia is gonna work real well.
I mean, I don't got many other options now, do I?
I mean, you'll be scared about it, but like, you won't be scared for long.
Get me under.
That part of
Or,
your head,
I mean,
but-
there is a solution, and it works like not all the time. There's this story of the guy who had the rail, like that piece of steel metal pipe, shoot through his chin, and like up through his brain.
Oh yeah, that
And
is-
like after it happened, he no longer had inhibitions or fear.
yeah, that would probably do it. That
and
would because if he
was
feeds on your fear. So.
yeah, and he was only knocked unconscious after it had been obliterated, and he lived.
I have
But
a long-term solution.
what?
So it's also canonically established that if people don't remember him, he doesn't exist. Nuke Elm Street.
Nuke Elm Street.
I promise you that if
I
you
was
nuke
of
Elm
all the
Street-
way of all the solutions, I did not think the thermonuclear one was going to be the one you went for.
You can't tell me that if someone goes like, "Hey, you remember what happened on Elm Street?" They're going to be like, "Oh, you mean
Yeah,
Freddy Krueger?" No,
No,
the
the
giant
fucking place
nuke
they
that-
got nuked.
That would do a good job at making people not think about him.
No one can remember Freddy if there's no one to remember Freddy.
Yeah. So you know, thermonuclear warfare may be the tactic.
So we've got lobotomy and thermonuclear warfare.
I didn't say it was ideal, but I
didn't say-
foe.
I think you've killed more people at that point than Freddy ever did. So you're kind of the worst monster.
Hey, this is how we survive.
I mean, you could also just become an alcoholic, I guess.
I mean, yeah. All right, your turn.
Which one do I want to pick?
I'm glad that we established that nuking and lobotomy is the only two good solutions.
I was gonna say Alien, but as I'm thinking about it, there's not really a great way to get out of that one.
I mean, that one's very simple, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Follow the protocol. If they would have followed the protocol like Ripley wanted originally and kept that person in quarantine, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, you're actually right.
Yeah. So just follow the rules that were set, and you wouldn't have had an issue.
Here's
Because
one.
there was the airlock in that room too. So if things got bad, they could have just shot it into space, and that's ultimately how she killed it anyway.
I have one.
Okay.
How do you survive? Because this is kind of a horror movie. I mean, it is a horror movie. How do you survive the purge?
Be a politician.
You can't be a politician. You are you.
Okay, that's a good point. Then I'm me.
You are you,
Not
but
with a
in the
lot of
purge.
money. Not with a lot of money and stuff.
You are where you are right now, and the purge has begun.
I mean, I personally believe the purge is kind of inflated. I do not think that a lot of people would be out murdering people.
I mean, I agree, but like we're talking about the in-universe where people are fucking insane. and killing everyone.
So how would I survive that? And I'm with me right now. I mean, the best scenario is just barricade yourself in a room and.
I mean, you've got a pretty good one right now. Just well, if you're at home, like if you were in Boldo.
Oh, if I'm
just
in Boldo,
just live in Boldo. Yeah, you just live in Boldo.
You've seen my house. There's no one around for like 5 miles except like elderly people. All I have to do is sit in my window with a rifle and be like, just watch. Like,
just eat. You got a couple of sandwiches, some snacks,
sandwiches, and then as people like if people like, hey, you're in my radius, and just shoot them.
Hey.
I don't think the purge would be the
I think it's. I mean,
the simplest solution to the purge would be don't live in a city. You're going to be the biggest threat in a city.
I think it's don't live in America.
Yeah, don't live in America. Yeah, I would move to Canada.
I have a couple of other ones.
I think that's a sort of simpler solution.
I think it's one of those ones that like they always talk about, and
I also don't personally think that I have anything that someone wants to kill me over. And like I'm annoying,
sure.
but I don't feel like I'm annoying enough for someone to want to kill me.
Yeah.
Are you sharpening knives? Is that what I'm hearing?
It's currently yes. All right, your turn.
Regardless of that, just be at my house, barricade myself in. I have food and I have guns. I mean, that's pretty prepared.
I think I'm way worse off considering where I live.
Oh yeah, Nashville, you're screwed. Because if we're being honest, and I don't mean this to sound classist, the homeless people are probably going to be running ruckshot.
Yeah.
Like the people that have to use every day to survive. Just, sorry, it's kind of the truth.
On that dour note, your turn.
Okay. At least that one didn't end in nuking.
Yeah. You're right, though. I think the least. I think that
both of mine so far have included an explosion of some kind.
Just kind of. I mean, nuking it. Yeah, to be completely honest. In both those situations, nuking would end it. And I guess in the purge, you could also say, yeah, nuking it would technically end the purge.
All right, I'm gonna give you a more supernatural one.
Oh, great. Yeah.
The Conjuring.
Move. Move out of that shitty house and burn it.
But they followed them, remember?
You're right,
they
though.
They did move and they got followed.
That one's a tough one.
This one has a simple solution, too, if you think about it.
Nuke it?
No.
It would work!
Nuke won't work on this case. In fact, I think nuking it maybe just make it angrier.
Yeah. This is a toughie for me.
I mean, I have a simple solution. Like, it's a real simple solution.
What?
Calling the paranormal investigators they call in the movie. They seem to have a handle on things pretty well.
So are they real? Okay, if I'm...
They are based off real people, by the way. There are a couple named after those two that did investigate paranormal, and they had a locked room with like all their paraphernalia.
They have an actual Annabelle doll. It's like a Raggedy Ann doll.
Yeah, like that is based off of a true thing. So I'm saying in universe, like you're in this universe, like
just call them. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know that was the solution.
Relatively, I think a priest died in that movie, but none of the family really died. They were traumatized. They probably need to see a therapist. But
so my solution is to, again, so it's pretty simple. Call Ed and Lorraine Lauren.
Yep. And
just kind of go on like a pretty public place for a little bit.
I don't feel like they'd haunt. I don't feel like the ghost would follow you to a Marriott.
Yeah, like no one's gonna go to a Marriott hotel. They'd like that.
I don't think a ghost would risking the Marriott's 3-star review.
Yeah, I don't think they'd like that. Maybe if they were at a Best
Western.
Western.
They may be literally from hell, but come on, that'd be kind of a dick.
If this was made Best Western, maybe, but not a Marriott.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's mine towards you. These have gotten simpler, apparently.
It's nuke or just kind of go on a little vacation for a little bit until it blows over. Until the problem solves itself.
Hey, we're figuring it out.
Here's a hard one, because
Okay.
you are trapped by Jigsaw, specifically in his original trap
Oh,
from the original Saw movie. You are Carrie Elwise.
there's literally no way to play. You just have to play the game.
That one was like the hardest one and kind of the most boring one I had because
I mean, it's a
because
I mean,
technically
I
you know
mean,
that
technically,
technically
nuking would work again,
yeah, can't die if you're already dead.
but really, you just play the game. You can't really escape. You're not going to beat him if you're trapped there.
The problem with Jigsaw is
And
that like
he honestly, Jigsaw, the original Jigsaw, not his phonies that kind of take up his name
Yeah.
and do it crappily.
which technically if we
If
go
you
by this
play
movie,
his
you become one of
If
them.
you play his rules, you make it maimed, but he gives you a way out.
It's the problem that like you don't want to get maimed.
I
Maybe
do like.
I guess
do
the best
like
solution here is to not cheat on your wife.
Yeah,
maybe
but he's
that
so
one.
fickle. He's so fickle by those things. I'm not a murderer. I don't murder people.
You did poison that guy. You did actually
You have
poison that
killed
guy.
a lot of people. I mean,
This is at least manslaughter, at the
make sure
very
the key
least.
don't make sure the key don't go down the drain.
Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe that one. Also, you
Hey.
do know. I mean, in this scenario, you do know that Jigsaw is in the room with you.
Like he's the dead body in the
Yeah,
room.
you know that he is the dead body in the
Oh,
room.
I'd throw broken toilet pieces at him.
Fucking idiot! Let me out! Let me out!
And when he wakes up from like his drug induced coma, he's like, "Why is my head hurt?"
Let me out, you idiot! Yeah.
I mean, play the game. That's literally the only way to get out of that is to.
So we've got nuke it or maim yourself.
I mean, but honestly though,
Yeah.
Jigsaw is fair-ish. Like
It's one of the ones. It's usually
if it's the original Jigsaw, the guy that was over it, he had a way out for all of his games,
they just kind of all sucked.
or they didn't think it through. So I guess the first thing would just be as calm as I can, try to not get any duty on my hand because the bathroom is disgusting,
Doodle feces.
and
There was doodle feces
listen
all
and
over the
try to
wall.
play the best I can. And if all that fails, nuke it.
Nuke it. You can't really fail if everything's dead.
That's fair. We're gonna play a little game. No, we're not. Airstrike. Mark my coordinates.
Breaker 2-9. This is Big Dog. Drop it. Yeehaw! Code word yeehaw.
Chucky.
Chucky?
You've got a killer possessed doll coming at you. What you doing?
I mean, Marriott Hotel, I think solution also works because I do think you'd think that was beneath him.
No, Chucky's known to follow people places.
But to a Marriott?
Right, he followed him to a strip club. I feel
No,
like
message from our sponsor, Marriott Hotels. We're not that great.
Marriott Hotel, a place where 99% sure you won't get murdered.
By a murdery doll. Chucky. I've only watched the first one.
Possessed doll coming at you. It wants to take over your body. The gist of it.
So Nuke
And he
It
makes
also
stupid jokes.
Nuke It also technically works in this situation.
You do not have access to a nuke in this occasion. We've used them on Freddy, Saul, and we've
We've
used
used all our nukes.
How about this? From here on out, we've used our nuke card.
We've used our nuke cards. Okay.
I used it on Freddy, and that was the only nuke we had.
So I mean, crowded places are going to be safer for you. And I mean,
Yeah,
that's,
he doesn't want he wants his victims thinking they're crazy.
and if I know that, I mean, you just kind of plan out a place where like he doesn't have a lot of ways to get in. Like, one of your best bets is like a panic room with a bear trap in front of the door. Like,
Wouldn't that also work for the Purge?
yeah. So kind of.
Why would you have access to a panic room, Hitchcock?
So I do know of a storm shelter I could lock myself in, and I could just have a lot of snacks and just kind of live there.
I feel like that's going way too far for a doll that you could just kick across the room.
I mean, have you seen him though? It's pretty spry.
It's a doll. Kick it. That's the one thing that's irritating.
Whenever he drops the hair dryer into the bathtub, I just grab it like, "You're coming with me!"
Like most movies show him killing people by surprise, like, oh god, it's a doll, and then he kills them. But like there is a few scenes in the movies where the people attack him and they just pick him up and chunk him across the room.
Yeah, he is pretty kickable and punchable.
He's not like it.
I mean, a baseball.
If you can get over the surprise of a talking doll trying to stab you, I feel like you can find some ways to handle it.
So I think your biggest threats are that he's kind of fast.
He's also made of plastic.
Yeah, so a good quick solution is a lighter and a thing of air freshener.
I was gonna say the oven.
Yeah, just kind of pick him up and like, let me go! Let me go! You just throw him in there.
Let me go! Don't you know who I am? Just throw him in the oven, back in the microwave, and watch him blow up like a marshmallow.
Welcome to Nice Eats with Deborah. We're gonna cook this possessed baby doll on 400 for an hour and a half.
And with a side of baby carrots.
And I have air fried a thing of baby carrots.
So air fried, microwave it at 400 degrees. That's the solution to Chucky.
He will not survive, and if he does, he will be a melted pile of goo. You can eat him with a spoon. With the baby carrots. You have now made a fine possessed doll dip for the baby carrots.
On movies about possessed dolls, I'd rather face Chucky than the Annabelle doll.
Yeah, because the Annabelle doll is just like an actual demon that doesn't act. The doll doesn't. It's not the doll trying to kill you. It's the thing in the doll, and the thing in the doll can do a lot of worse shit.
Yeah, but if I could get Chucky on my side, we'd make killer on a ventriloquist act.
Hey man, I know you want to kill me. I know you want my body, but how much do you want to be a millionaire? We can become billionaires, and we'll just make you a body.
Like, yeah, just do that, and he'd be like, "But I want a body." It was like, $1 billion, we'll find you some homeless guy.
We're gonna become the most famous people ever. They're not gonna know how we're gonna do it. Like,
now open up your plastic butthole. I gotta put my hand in there.
It's that, or I bake you at 400 and 400 for an hour and a half.
Your choice, Chucky.
Rather, it's you and the baby carrot side dish, or his head's going up that plastic doll butt.
Awful prostate exam.
Jesus Christ. Chucky was a good one because Chucky's like kind of easy to win if you know what you're to expect.
Yeah, like some of them you can overthink it. Really, in some of them, the movies, they're just honestly just not thinking right. Because rightfully so, you're being killed by a plastic doll. That's kind of startling.
So I have a lot of like more recent movies because like I wanted to give you some ones.
By the way, I'm not asking anything about Jason Voorhees because the answer to that is also simple. Don't go camp at the place where people's been murdered.
Don't go to Crystal Lake. Hey, but what about Jason Takes Manhattan?
We don't talk about Jason Takes Manhattan.
We're gonna.
We don't talk about Jason Takes Manhattan.
You're a coward and you know it.
That movie doesn't exist.
There's no such movie. This is gonna be probably my last one that I had prepped. And this is kind of a modern one, and if you haven't seen it, it's gonna make me kind of sad. Have you seen Bird Box yet?
I have.
How do you win Bird Box?
Gouge my eyes.
You're gonna gouge your eyes out.
Yes, being blind seems to be the optimal decision.
I feel like there's less painful ways to probably become blind.
Yeah, but I'd be tempted to take the blindfold off.
I mean, you just kind of sleep all the time, I guess.
Well, here's a question: if you're blurred vision, does that count?
The biggest problem we don't know actually. Was that explained in the movie?
No, I know seeing its shadow doesn't affect you, but the reflection does.
It's just seeing the thing.
Yeah, so it depends on the blurred vision. If the blurred vision doesn't make me go cuckoo and want to kill myself, then yeah, I just do something to blur my vision.
How do you deal with the crazy people trying to kill you?
Shotgun?
But you can't see them.
Well, that's fair.
Shotgun is good solution. But what if they come up behind you? Shotgun, you have an area of denial. But shotgun don't work good if they sneak up on you. If they pull a Michael Myers.
Shotgun and, you know those, like, cans people put in their garden to scare away deer?
Yeah.
That signals noise?
Uh-huh.
Sort of that tactic.
I guess also bunker and bear trap kind of works in this one too.
I mean, find a remote place and blind yourself and get used to being blind. That's
I don't think you have to gouge your eyes out though, because you're fine indoors.
But I'm thinking of a permanent solution, and a blind human race is the best solution.
Yeah, I guess in the long run.
I mean, at the end of it, the blind guy is the one who saves everybody.
Blind guy, it was blind people.
No, just the one guy. The blind guy saved it there. Was the reason he didn't get affected, and that's why people could come to him.
So that's my last one. I had a few prepped, and that was my few that I prepped.
All right, I've got one more, and then I want you to do a spontaneous one to end us out.
All right.
My last one for you, Hitchcock, is also a sort of newer one.
Hopefully I've seen it.
Pretty sure you have. I think we've talked about it.
Maybe. We'll find out.
Quiet Place?
Okay, that one's kind of rough. So Bird Box, it's kind of bad. You can't.
I mean,
see
I
it.
have my solution to Quiet Place. I already know it.
So first off, we know that they can hear real good, but if they, but also
That's understating it.
But the best solution, in kind of a permanent solution, it will take a lot of time, but it'll work eventually, is that you just kind of attract them to one place. Because as long as you're in a place where it is louder than you are, and
That's fair.
so blasting a bunch of music is a good way to attract them. So
Why don't we just make Nickelback play at one stadium full
Hello!
blast? And then, as all of them go to the stadium, we find another nuke.
Look at that photograph!
And then we solve two problems.
So
Aliens
we don't
and
even need the nuke.
Nickelback.
I'm going to be completely honest, because we can just take a long time and systematically kill them.
That's fair. Also, I
Because-
guess figure out the frequency.
Well, we know that if you play it loud enough, it makes them go cuckoo, cuckoo. And their weak spot opens up, and you can blast them away.
Okay. Your solution of like a mass sound thing and attracting them to that to kill them is better than mine.
Because I'm not hiding, because we know the military got kind of messed up, but like.
Well, supposedly the meteor they came out in also knocked off like all communication, and that's sort of what went down.
But what's your solution?
Oh, I was just gonna say die.
That's not a great. I see why mine was a little bit better.
Yours is a little bit better. Mine was just simple: take the L and die.
No. I've thought about this one.
I haven't. I don't want to be constantly silent.
Well, that's right, because obviously I'm gonna die real fast.
So yeah, I'd just take the L. I would go out to the street and scream at the top of my lungs just to give one fu to the aliens.
But like, it's not that hard to make like distractions. Like, heck, you could find audio pretty easily, um, of just like the recording of footsteps, and like they'll be attracted to it, and then you can kind of use that to like, if you make the area where you are constantly louder than you are, they can't hear you.
That's fair. So just have a grenade launcher.
Just make it real loud, grenade launcher, and earmuffs. You're good.
Yeah, you make an explosion over there.
I think they were too cowardly, and that movie has a way easier solution.
They killed that little kid in the first half.
Yeah, they did.
I did not expect them to kill the 5-year-old.
It's pretty funny though, because in my solution, that kid's alive.
And my solution, I'm dead, so I don't have to be sad about the kid.
In my solution, the kid's just rocking out for fucking Nickelback with me. I guess, because that's all we have. We just have all the Nickelback CDs.
Okay. Well, I told you to surprise me with one off the cuff, spontaneous to end it.
Ah. I can think of so many horror movies, but I can't think of one that's like would have an interesting. Have you ever seen the movie they just said?
I have.
That one.
In
that one, I take the L. Cause
Man,
there's not a good one for that one.
honestly, I mean, obviously the answer is don't go in the cave.
Yeah, don't. Cause so like I think I'm good in that movie because you could not even at gunpoint make me go into a cave. But I don't think, I mean, like, unless you, because, like, you are at such an intense disadvantage, like, combat-wise, trying to fight them, that you're just not going to win.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the cave with them, I don't see
You're
a
dead.
way out.
I think you're dead. You just take the L. You just get a big old rock and you drop it on your head. Can I have a second? I have a second one.
I do have a solution. B. Buster Rhymes.
B. Buster Rhymes, no kung fu, see in the dark.
Buster Rhymes could probably find his way.
We all
out,
know Buster Rhymes knows kung fu, and he can probably see in the dark. So,
yeah.
and he's probably always packing. I have a second one, and this one's not a movie, but it's kind of a cheat. The Walking Dead.
The zombie thing? Oh, The Walking Dead. So pretty much zombies. How would I survive zombies?
The Walking Dead's a pretty easy one, in my opinion.
I mean, it's really just 4 to 5 with a bunch of people.
And don't be cannibals.
Yeah, don't eat other people, I guess.
I think that one also overestimates like how well the military would be able to handle the situation.
I think the military would be well prepared for a zombie outbreak. The Quiet Place, I think they would have issues.
Yeah, well, because the problem is that like it was said very early on that the things are bulletproof, and that unless you hit the right frequency, they are completely immune to bullets.
Yeah. All right, I've got one more to finally finish this out.
You ready?
Have you seen It Follows?
Yes.
You've had sex with someone.
Nope. Absence till I die. That's no. So, like, and I just so I've had sex with someone.
Someone has had sex with you that had it, and now it's on to you.
So, if it was me, and this is real life, you have two problems. One is that
Well,
you
one,
can.
just letting it kill you isn't a solution because it just goes back to the other one, the person that was before you.
There's not a lot of great ways. I mean, it's also very slow.
It is very slow, but I feel like that makes it worse because it's always in the background lurking.
It's like the thing that thought experiment where like it's a snail that you can't damage or anything like that, and it's always coming at you, but at a very slow pace. And once it catches you, you're dead. Um,
Yeah, except in this case, this thing keeps going back to its past victims. Uh, is an orgy the answer?
I mean, there's no permanent. So you have two options here. Rather, you kind of ensure that everyone that's ever been affected by it is dead, and kind of save everyone else from it. Which is probably the like genuinely the more moral solution.
Yeah,
But if the whole point is for you to survive, is that I think at minimum you would have to have I think probably sex with like maybe 5 people, or sexually active people. Um,
you
and
could
then,
do what they do in the movie and do the prostitute thing.
yeah, it's the problem is that it needs to spread fast enough to where like I mean you just have to have it stay away from you. Not for you don't have to technically do it. Doesn't have to be an infinite solution. It just has to be for your lifespan.
That's true.
And so I
That-
prefer
I don't feel like there's a good solution to that. It's just constantly watching over your shoulder.
go to space because it can't
But
follow you there. I don't think.
Yeah, how am I going to space? I guess give it to Jeff Bezos and hope he goes to space. I'm gonna wrap this up with orgy.
I mean like the most moral solution I think is just traveling a lot.
I mean, probably that is the most moral
It's
solution.
you're gonna live a life of constant fear. You probably I don't know its rate of travel, but you probably have like a few years before you have to leave again. At most, because it moves at a walking pace.
Yeah, it does. Out of all the movies we've listed, which would you rather not have to deal with, and which one do you think would be the easiest for you to deal with?
Saw would probably be the one I mean,
That's the one you would deal with?
no, not at all.
Okay, you just not mess with Saul. Gotcha.
The problem is there's a lot of them I wouldn't want to mess with. I mean,
You have to choose.
Chucky, maybe? Because, like, I feel like he's probably the easiest to kill. I'm thinking about it. I'm trying to think of all the ones we went through. The Conjuring's not that bad. If I don't die before the haunting, like, the moment I'm like, this place is haunted. Hey, yo, get the ghost spray out in here. I need to throw a couple of gas bombs up in there. Get the ghosts out. And just kind of hang out at a Marriott for a little bit because the ghost won't follow you to a Marriott.
Yeah, that's a foolproof tactic. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, if you've ever been haunted, go to a Marriott.
Haunting, if you've got a haunting, stay at the Marriott.
People always wonder what is the purpose of a Marriott.
Continental breakfast included.
You ever always wonder like what is the purpose of a Marriott? It's to get away from ghosts.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The least favorite would be rather the Descender Saw, just because it's a tie. I mean, all the other ones are pretty bad. Like, even like I mean, we offered solutions, but like they're all going to be really difficult. Literally, the only solution we could come up for Saw was just maiming yourself, which is not great.
I'm gonna go with Alien as the one that I would be in, because like I said, follow the protocol, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
The one that I'd least like to do is The Quiet Place.
That was just so stressful.
I couldn't. Like I said, that's
I mean,
the
the
only
descent
one that
one's
I would
pretty
be like-
easy just by not going in a hole.
Yeah, the Quiet Place, you don't have any control of it happening. It just happens.
We can agree that all these are solved by being Busta Rhymes.
Buster Rhymes with a nuke, yeah.
Just be Busta Rhymes with a nuke and you'll never have any problems.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Myers is that hard. Buster Rhymes. But yeah, I think it's time for the wheel.
Well, what are they gonna do next?
First of all, it's the wheel of what now?
We never really had it's not a great name.
It's clunky. It's a little
It's
clunky.
a little clunky. She a little bit.
Yes!
Oh god, I'm scared. Is it fish?
Will!
Is it Woodrow Wilson?
It's Woodrow Wilson!
No! Oh! Dang it! I don't want to look about Woodrow Wilson. Why do you have such a hate boner for Woodrow Wilson?
Come back next week and find out. I hate that man.
Oh my god.
I'd put Woodrow Wilson in all of these horror situations and not feel bad about it. I'd have sex with Woodrow Wilson and give him the It Follow STD ghost.
STD goes. I guess as I'm closing out, give one horror movie recommendation. Mine is Eraserhead by David Lynch. I'm sorry. I'm sorry already for you having to watch that movie if you do decide to watch it. Trent, go.
Oh, horror movie recommendation? Watch The Last Shift on Netflix. It's a genuinely scary movie that about in a police station, and watch it.
I also completely agree. Probably watch that one instead of Eraserhead. You won't be scarred for life.
It is horrifying.
Everybody have a wonderful time. Thank you for watching 2 Days Talking About
Wilson!
Woodrow Wilson!